I hope everybody can hear me. If not, please let me know. Let me take this banner off here. So, how are we doing tonight, everybody? Um, um, I'm gonna start off with the announcements, but tonight is a very important night. We're gonna go back over the Legend of Time because I want everybody to start off correctly. Yesterday we had a Q&A, which a lot of people got to participate in asking questions that they've had on their mind for a while about Bigfoots, and we got to those answers. And we have kind of talked with this with the group and everything about having like a Q&A at least maybe once a week. We'll go over some things and then we can have some random questions and things like that. I looked at another Bigfoot channel today. I was there for lunch, and I wouldn't recommend going and watching these other guys. They have more questions. They were guessing, giving opinions, what ifs, could be's. You can't listen to people like that. All they're going to do is get you confused because they're confused. They can't give an answer, so they're going to go around the answer. I remember we talked yesterday about the eye shine, like the light eyes. Those are the less docile, the juveniles. The even though they can be 15 foot tall or 10 foot tall, those glimmering eyes are just like training eyes, just like a baby snake. The more they kill, the more they have growth. The colors, their eyes will change, and then until it gets to the most vicious. So tonight I want to go over a few pictures that I want to share with everybody because I'm going to read off about a paragraph at a time, and then we're going to go over that, and I'm going to show you with other pictures where this story is, and that everyone should be able to know this story after today. You will understand we're going to teach you about the true history and the beginning of a Bigfoot or the Bigfoots, and why there's so many different variations. People were even talking about like infrasound and sonic waves and blast and things like that. But you have to understand that they also have bird DNA and they have fish DNA. They saw. Well, some of these other guys, I wish we could get them on here, or I asked that they interview me, but they've been avoiding that for about 6 months. And another person was supposed to interview me who was associated with the other group, and they decided not to do that. I really don't know about the native chalk talk, the interview I did for the Bigfoot for the Halloween night, because they've only done like one, like part one, I guess. I was in the part two. It could still happen. I don't know, but it just seems like everything that I tell has been censored, even with my own people. So tonight, you get the benefit of learning everything correctly about the Bigfoot origins and everything with pictures. I even did some artwork to help out, just to make this a little easier for understanding, which another person also suggested that I use some visuals. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off. Go ahead and start off with maybe about the first part of the story, and then we'll break that down. And I want to show you and tell you exactly what the story is about, so that once you leave here today, you're going to know everything. The Legend of Time. Once, before time, the sun, the moon, created spiritual cosmic animals and shared all. Each spiritual cosmic animal is taken from and is a part of the sun and moon's creation. The great elk, the great ram, the great bull, the great dog is of the creation of the sun. The great rabbit, the great bear, the great goose, the great fish, and the great serpent is of the moon's creation. The light of the spiritual cosmic animals of the sun and moon is the color purple with a pinkish hue. The great sun is a half shape of a man, as the great moon is a half shape of woman, but neither have calves or feet. Each spiritual cosmic animal have their own migration circles and place. In each migrational circle, many of the same spiritual cosmic animals are abundant. At one time, a creature appeared from the depths of the darkness. This creature arrived communicating that it was there only to aid or to help in any way allowed. This creature helped in many ways, but was always going from place to place in the light of life, but would always return and stayed in the darkness. Spiritual air is fresh and clean as the waters, but the creature could only surface from time to time. The creature would always get as close to the spiritual cosmic animals as possible and touch them if it could. The great rabbit was resting as the creature began to move in the direction of the great rabbit. The creature would watch the spiritual cosmic animals breathe, which is nourishment in the spiritual world. But the creature did not do this, and the fresh air did not allow it to live as the spiritual cosmic animals lived. The creature bit a rabbit, and in an instant, red plasma filled the creature, and the pure energy of the cosmic spiritual rabbit began to also fill the creature with energy. The creature became ecstatic and began a feeding frenzy in the great rabbit's spiritual world. The great, the great rabbit's defense is speed, and this speed was used to go to the next spiritual cosmic animal's migrational circle, trying to warn all the other spiritual cosmic animals, but also using speed to not be captured or eaten. The great rabbit hopped from place to place as the creature began to follow the great rabbit to the other locations. To the other locations of the spiritual cosmic animals, one after the other. Each cosmic spiritual world came under attack, and each of the spiritual cosmic animals used any defense or offense they could use to protect themselves and their world. The great ram, the great elk, the great dog, and each of the spiritual cosmic animals became engaged in a life and death struggle. This is the first time any of the spiritual cosmic animals had ever been under threat. As the great elk charged and embedded the horns into the creature bit one after another. A bite of fire, a bite that caused paralyzation, and That bite caused plasma to stream from the eyes, the ears, the nose, and the mouth. The creature is a deceiver and is skilled at capture. It attacked each spiritual cosmic animal, draining each of the precious spiritual plasma and energy. The sun and moon are also attacked by the larger creatures that laid in waiting. The sun gathered the spark of life that the sun carried, sending the spark of life to the moon's portal. She accepted the spark of life. The sun is bit on the neck as the spiritual cosmic animals have been. Slowly becoming paralyzed, the creature began to bend the sun backwards and used a sticky film line to keep the sun in place. The line of energy, sorry, the line of energy that the sun sent to the moon was still apparent, and the creature began to follow the path of light towards the moon. The moon, known as Sky Woman, now had the energy of the spark of life from the sun. As the creatures approached the moon, following the path of light, Sky Woman placed the spark of life from the sun into herself for safety. The combined energy of the sun's energy began the first creation of a spiritual cosmic baby being. For the first time, with the spiritual energy of both the sun and moon. The sun and moon's energy combined is the strength and balance of the spiritual sky world. The combination of the sun and moon's energy created a baby man child being called Earth. The spark of life with the spirituality of the moon created Earth by the sharing of energy. At this same exact time, each spiritual cosmic animal also combined with the energy of the sun and moon. This happened to all of creation at one time. The path of life, the path of light flowed into Sky Woman. The creature followed that line of light to the moon and attacked. Attacking in the same manner, the moon was also bit on the neck and started to become paralyzed as all other spiritual cosmic beings were. As the moon began to slow her motion, she placed both hands over her midsection region to protect the spark of life and the creation of Earth. The great serpent arrives and engages in the battle of death as the moon is being turned over to face the darkness of the murky waters of the depths. Earth's development has begun. The formation of Earth is noticed by the creature who is following the path of light that led to the midsection of the moon. Mother's hands, although paralyzed, has been placed upon herself to protect creation's life. The creation of the spiritual cosmic being known as Earth sprang life in Earth's memory. Now, Earth is a living, spiritual, cosmic baby being. Through Earth's development, the first man is formed, or the first man is created. The physical man in a spiritual world is a dream or a thought of Earth's spirituality. From the body of Earth, man began to grow and is a powerful being with many gifts of power. Sky Woman does not let her hold of her midsection go, and is paralyzed, subdued, and captured as the sun has been. She has been turned over, away from the sun. The creature begins to protect. Oh, oh. The creature begins to also use a sticky line to also bend the moon over backwards, and begins to encase Sky Woman into a ball. Protected by Mother Moon, Earth continues to develop. The people of man began to be created from the earth, spiritual beings in a dream world. Okay, so that was part one. We'll do part two in just a second. So I'm going to show you with some visuals of what we're talking about in the story. So right now, let's see, we would be talking about this hieroglyph right here. Now, let's see if I can get this over here. Now, this is a hieroglyph of what is known as Starman. It's always better to know the symbols and signs before we explain these. Like you got to know, a few symbols and a few signs to get through all this stuff. But this is a hieroglyph of what is known as Starman. If you look, and I hope you can see this, but where his heart is, there's a cross and then a downward pointed arrow or triangle. The downward triangle is the symbol for Earth or below Earth. The crossing or the top has to do with the eyes and the head joining with Earth. So now also, if you also look, you're going to see a little star. Let's see how I'm going to do this. Little star on the side of Starman. Now, if everybody remembers, that star is a portal. That is called the like the Fall Equinox. And we all have those on us too. We have portals up here, portals down below, portals on our sides. We are portals also. So this part is talking about the sun. This is Starman. This is before people were created. Now, here's another hieroglyph that was re-scripted, but this is also called Sky Woman, Wombman, Sky Woman. Now, there's also the great serpent in this image. But if you also look, there is also the sun. But you're also seeing the path of light coming from the sun. I hope you can see that up there in that very top. The sun is coming out. The path of light is coming out. And that path of light is going to the moon, which is Sky Woman. The moon is a person. It's a Sky Woman. It's a person, or not a person as we would say. It's a spiritual cosmic being known as Sky Woman. Now, in this hieroglyph, the 8-pointed star is actually Earth. I hope everybody can see this because all this is, I'm getting to it, but this is all important that you know all these hieroglyphs too. Now, this hieroglyph right here, this is this is Earth. This is the Earth, and if you really look at it, you've got the equinox coming through here. You got the solstice at the top, and then you got the 45-degree angles going up in every section. You'll see that in Masonic orders too. But those lines, those are spider web lines. Right there in the very center. Let me see how it is. Okay. Right there in the very center. This is where the spider is. The deceiver in this story is a spider. Now, if you look at on the other side, maybe I can do it like this. Right here, you're going to see what looks to be a boat or a ship. And then you're going to see the spider coming down. I hope everybody can see that because that boat is very important and we'll show it to you in just a second. But that boat is actually a creature. That's the deceiver. But it came from somewhere else through the water, so people portrayed it as a boat or a ship. In history, even in the Bible, it says you cannot make a graven image. So nobody, they were putting boats, they were putting comets, they were using everything to try to tell us, but it was forbidden to tell us because if we were to know, we were to be killed. That's also with the Arabic language. That's what the Inquisition about, is if we understood what was being said in the hieroglyphs. Now, if you see that boat, it's coming down and the spider's coming down. You're going to see this, Nina Pinta, Santa Maria. You're going to see this is actually the big one. That boat right there is actually called the Argo with the Argonauts, Jason and all that. So this is the next hieroglyph. I want to show you this, but I hope you can see it. This is called the map of the universe. Now, let's see if I can do it again. Can't do it. Right there. I'm kind of pointing at it. Right there at the very top in the blue. Not where my finger is, but further in where the solstice comes down. That's the medium line. If you've been with us for a little while, that's the line here is the equinox. The one coming straight down is the solstice. So just right of the solstice line, you're going to find the ship Argo. That's a ship up there. That ship is the same ship as this one. Now, in the story, the deceiver, which I'm going to show you some of these things. Now, when the deceiver is a spider. It's a cosmic spider. It's a predator. This hieroglyph is the same as this map of the universe. The boat is at the very top also. Now, actually, this next part, I need to go ahead and read the second part. I want to break that down real fast. Okay, now I'm going to read part 2, and then I have some more photos, but I need to read this part, and then I'll show you the photos so that you get the grasp of it. This is very important. I know some people just watch these things to kind of go back to doing their things, but for me, I took a lot of time, trying to find everything to match it with the stories so that you have the visual. So, I thought I had a picture up and way over here in the corner. But I'm gonna read the second part off here, and then I want to show you a few more images. I've worked this out, so Please bear with me. We're getting to everything that you need to know, and you're going to be surprised at the end, so please stay with us. Part two. The attack was throughout each world of the spiritual cosmic animals. The attack of the deceivers were subduing and feeding upon each world. The great rabbit is still being pursued, as too the great rabbit followed the path of light also to the moon. Worlds being fed upon in the sky world, as Mother Moon is being fed upon as the sun. The great rabbit found the portal of the moon and entered down the rabbit hole to earth, with the deceivers still in pursuit. The great rabbit, too, found earth being created. The world of earth is in the creation time, but man is advanced in all the knowledge of the spiritual world. In just the beginning of creation, man has the power of all inside himself and stored safely. Man has become a living, spiritual, powerful, physical being. Eons pass as civilizations form in an instant. The cosmic spiritual place of earth is only for man, as each spiritual world of the great cosmic animals world are only for each cosmic animal. Man watches as each spiritual cosmic animal arrives. The cosmic baby being Earth now becomes the home and caregiver of all the cosmic animals. There is plenty for all, and peace is abundant. As man cares for all, a cry is heard above. The great serpent has arrived above to help the moon, curling up around the deceiver. The great serpent is bit over and over as the struggle of life is fought for. With each bite, with each bite of fire, flashes of light and the sounds of pain is heard to us below. As man looks above, he can see the battle of life and the cry and the pains of war. The great serpent rose and rose, protecting the moon. Battle after battle is fought in each spiritual world. The great serpent stops moving. The great rabbit who is inside the moon finds the cosmic baby being Earth and enters into one of the portals to Earth. Down, 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 the rabbit goes into the portal of Earth. The deceivers are still in pursuit of the great rabbit as the great rabbit arrives to Earth's realm. Earth is shaken. The world begins to move. The worlds begin to fade. Man, who is looking over, or man, who is looking above, watches the battle of life between the great serpent and an unseen attacker come to a stop. The great serpent is slowly turned over to a death row and placed upside down. The earth shakes again and again. The great serpent moves one more time and falls downward and falls upon Earth's face, also to protect Earth by falling between Mother Moon's hands. The great serpent sacrifices for Earth and lays across Earth to this day. The great cosmic animals watch the battle also as man does. One sharp, pointed appendage is seen sliding over the body of the great serpent. Then another sharp appendage comes over the body of the great serpent. This is the first time man has seen such a creature. All the cosmic sky animals are in the Earth's realm now. The face of the deceiver is a gruesome, horrific sight. The deceiver's sharp appendage strikes the cosmic baby being, Earth, in the left eye. As Mother Moon is pulled upside down and backwards, so too is Earth into the depths of the dark, murky waters of the deceiver. Darkness covers half of Earth's face as the Earth falls into catastrophe by being pulled over and backwards. The Earth shakes. Okay, now I want to show you a couple of images to get us caught up to that point. Now we're talking about the deceiver coming in, attacking all the animals, going world to world. Now these, if you look up in the sky, maybe I'm talking like this, but got my hands up in there. But if you look up at the sky, you're going to find the great bear, which is Ursa Minor. You're going to find the small baby bear, which is Ursa Minor, Ursa Major. Major's a big one. You're going to find the dogs that are talking about this. You're going to find the great elk. You're going to find the great goose, the great serpent. All this whole story is starting up in the cosmos before Earth was created. So we're getting to all this, but we're starting before time. We're starting before our world had darkness. At one time, we never had darkness. It was always a purplish, pinkish hue, which in that light, we lived forever. We never died, because in the purplish pink hue world, with the sun, it's only growth. It's not decay. It's not budding. It's not flowering. It's only growth, just like a vegetated plant. Keep it 24 hours of sun, all it does is get bigger and grow and get bushier. It doesn't change. It doesn't wilt. It doesn't fruit. That only happens when you take light away from it. And that's what's happened to us. When light was taken away from us, we started aging. We started getting older, and people died. We're not supposed to die. And if you look in history, because we are losing light because of this deceiver, that we went from the moon calendar to the sun calendar, which everybody uses the sun calendar now. But before, it was only the moon calendar. And the reason we had a moon calendar treaty and not a sun treaty is because half of the world went into darkness. The people who came from that darkness, we had to have a treaty with them so that they wouldn't eat our people and they wouldn't take things. We would help them grow. We would help them survive as long as we were not harmed. But of course, all treaties are broken. So the deceiver, now I'm going to show you now this picture right here. This is some artwork I've done. This is to show you the reflection of the sun. If you look in the back, sorry, let me do this. Maybe I can do it like this. But if you look in the back, let me do it right here. If you look right here in the back, you're going to see the deceiver in the black right here. Now on the other side, you're going to see the sun, but the sun is a reflection. We're not getting direct sunlight because, as in the story, we're upside down and backwards. So we're getting the reflection, which is a very small reflection off of the abyss, off of that dark, murky water, because we're upside down and backwards. So that sun, we're getting just a little bit of it. We're not getting all of our sun. We're not getting 24 hours of sun. Now, when the deceiver attacked the great serpent, which is over us, it's still there today. Even this creature, I'm about to show you this creature. This creature is called the blue and the red. I don't really know any other people who has this picture. It's from NASA. They do show things like this from time to time, but it's up to us to gather it if we're going to gather it. And this is an old picture. I found this years ago, and I knew exactly what it was. I knew exactly where it was. So, and this is called the blue and the red. The one that has Earth is called the black and the red. Black and red, police cars. Blue and the red, police cars. White lines are spider lines. Your car hits that, and the yellow and the white lines. And we talked about that in dreams, about the yellow and the white lines and the fog. So I hope everyone paid attention to that. If we got some new viewers, we will be going over that later. But right now, we're going over the first part of the creation story. And this creature right here is called the blue and the red. It's on the neck of the great serpent. It's on the neck of the Milky Way. When you look at that bright part of the Milky Way, take a really, really good look. And you can Google the Milky Way. They're going to show it to you because you're not supposed to know what you're looking for. Google the Milky Way, the great serpent. See where that mouth and that tongue meet. Then look right at the neck, just like we've been talking about the story. You're going to find an outlined image of a spider. Now, the deceiver is also called the dream catcher, which dream catchers are not good for our people. So this is the deceiver. This is some artwork I did. Remember, we're upside down and backwards. So if we think that we're going up, we're actually going downward. We're going to the abyss. We are going into a trap. I want you to remember that. We are going into a trap if we go upwards and out of Earth. The darkness in the bottom, the stars, that's called the abyss. That's from the poem Rage, Rage Against the Dying of the Light. Because once you break that barrier, because you're taught to go up and into the light, which the spider creates a light. It's also called the second sun because it produces that light and people go right to it. You're caught in a web and be fed upon. But you break that barrier, you go into space, you're going away from the light. And that's what that poem means. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. If you don't know where you're going, if you don't know how to use your energy body, you're a sitting duck in the spiritual world. You're supposed to all know how to do this. And we went over those techniques. But if you don't know it, these guys are waiting. I don't want to say guys because they're not. These creatures, these predators are waiting. They're there now. They've been there since the dinosaurs. And they were there before the dinosaurs. Now, when we talk about here's another piece of artwork I did. And if you see kind of like right here in the back, you're going to see that this is the sun above the water. And as you go in, you're going to see the brightness right here. That's the reflection. Right underneath that bright light, you're going to see like the letter A. And that's what I was showing in this picture, that's from that reflection, that's as much light as we're getting. We're supposed to have 24 hours, but we're only getting a couple hours. Our world is upside down and backwards. We're in the bottom. We're actually sinking right now because we sunk in 2018. But this also has a deceiver on the bottom here. Many worlds are caught. They're all caught. They all have a migrational circle, migrational area. They're caught as well. Now, this next image is a painting I did. If you look at the North Star at noontime, 45-degree angle from the North Star, and just put your hand up there, go about 45, and take a picture. If you take a picture every day, you're going to get this same image. I've seen this. I had a picture of it, and I had to delete it because computer started going haywire. My pictures disappeared. My computer just went haywire. I lost everything just about. But I did paint this picture before everything was lost. But this is the actual image of the appendage that is sticking into our world. You can't see the body of it. You can't see the rest of the creature. But you can see that appendage sticking into our world. I might have, yeah. Now, also, this same image right here is the same as this image. Now, when I painted the one I had, when I painted this one, I also had that other photo. I had this photo, but this photo was years ago. I didn't understand it at that time, and that was early before I even started, searching for things. But I had this picture, and it just looked like, I had to know what it was. It's important, so I kept it, just like I kept just like I kept this one. These are very important to us. Now, the appendage here, you can see 12 o'clock to the left, 45-degree angle of the North Star. You will, if you do it, I guarantee you'll get that picture. You're not supposed to know where it's at. You're not even supposed to look up. Most of the time, they cloud the sky so you don't see this. It's there. I know it is. I've seen it. It's in the hieroglyphs. But also at 12 noon, you got to also be careful because you're going to get this picture also. Now, if anybody can see this, this is a picture with all the lights of the I can't think of the word. But it's all the aura colors, I guess you would say. It's but remember, this creature can become translucent also. It can produce a light. It's called the second sun. Now, this image is of around 1205, I guess you would say. And this is when the sun will move right above the north, right over that creature. But if you look at the sun, if you can get pictures of the sun, and if you maybe have a sun flare lens, you're going to see that appendage sticking out, and you're going to see a small eye. But you're also going to see those legs sticking out. And I guarantee you, if you do it, you will see it. Now, everything through history, we haven't been taught, but we've been shown everywhere in history. Let me move this over. We've been shown in history, but we didn't know what to pay attention to. We didn't know what we were looking at or why we were looking at it. But if you was to go back and look at hieroglyphs, if you go back and look at what all the ancient people left us, you have to realize you have to listen to the ancient people. You have to listen to our people, the Indian people who know this. All of these things are true. They're all history. They're all facts. They're put everywhere in front of us so that we can find them. They're on, some of the ancient writings, the things that the tribes all found sacred, and you'll see that the spider in this on this shell or this bone also has the symbol for Earth in it, with the equinox and the solstice, and that it's coming downward. That's a downward, like a spider does from its web. It will come downward. This is in a lot of hieroglyphs. This is all over the world. Matter of fact, if you look at this image, this is somebody's writing Louis Burgelius or something Burgess. He said, "Man, why a spider, and why is it all over the world?" But of course, everybody, just ignores them. And if you see in that hieroglyph, you can see people walking underneath it. You got the capital in the background. You're just not allowed to know what's going on. The capital knows, the higher intelligent people know. You're just not allowed to know. Now, these people who have this bloodline, this is an eighth family bloodline, not one of the sevens. This is the eighth. This is the predator. This is the predator bloodline. This is the human kind of line, but it's not the humans. These are special individuals, special bloodlines. They're not like a human. They may look like a human, but they're not a human. They also have a special handshake. Now, if anybody has seen this handshake, which I know most people, if you've paid attention, you'll see presidents, you'll see popes, you'll see the Rockefellers. Those people, those lines are the ones who know. Those are the ones who tell you don't look at astrology. Those are the ones who tell you just read the high school book, and that's all we want you to know. And that's what a lot of people know, is just the high school books and stuff. So these people can't get away with a lot of things. They will put it in front of you. They'll put it in movies, songs, whatever. But it's up to you to know what they're talking about. Some people laugh whenever I'm pointing things out, and because they want to hear the song, and I'm saying, no, 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 no. You have to listen to what they're saying. And so I already know things are going to happen just by what's being shown, but you have to know what they're talking about. You have to know what they're telling you. Now, we also, in the story, we talked about the piercing in this hieroglyph. Where did the piercing happen? The piercing happened in the left eye of the cosmic man-child baby being Earth. And this hieroglyph, that creature is called the second sun. That is the Deceiver. That is a spider, but only in a image. And you see how big the spider is compared to the man-child, compared to Earth. This story is everywhere. Now, we went over the Dendro Egyptian, or the Egyptian Dendro Zodiac yesterday. Or, no, day before. Sorry. I asked people to tell me where this hieroglyph starts. Tell me where we're going to start reading the Egyptian Dendro Zodiac. Now, if you're new to the channel, or if you hadn't been here for a while, people who were with us while we were going over this were reading this hieroglyph. and it's in the story. We'll get to that also. Oh, I think we already got to that. Oh, no, actually, let me stop right there. I want to go back. There's more to this. I'm going to read part 3 now and the last, and then we'll finish up. The salty, dark, murky waters fill the Earth's eye as the 3 comets cause the Earth to shake as well. 3 pillars, or 3 giants, with many arms, begin to devour all the dead and the living. As people who lived in the mountain regions sees all the animals of the earth run into the cities as the birds fly past the homes of the people, a mist falls from above, and the people begin to become trapped by the falling mist. The giants, the creatures, are seen in the distant horizon. All people ran to the highest tops of the mountains as the waters rose. People and the rams, the animals, were still in the mountain regions as the very few animals also ran. Up the mountain, the creatures pursued the animals and people to the highest tops. All are eaten. With the DNA of the great serpent, the deceivers begin to mix the animals together by eating and laying eggs. Forms of predator, serpent, ram, man are being mixed as they are all that remains. When the great waters when the great waters recede, the birds flew back to the tops. The creature also waits at the tops for the birds. As each bird lands, each bird is eaten. Now the creature mixes the now the creature mixes the bird with all eaten. The same is done with the fish. The waters recede. More animals from the land connected to are eaten. As the predator makes its way across the land, the great bull, man, the great goose, the great dog, many predator forms are abundant. Everything has been mixed with the predator. Man has also been placed in the mixture to create a crawling, man-like being that through time, with the ingestion of more people, become more man-like. People where the sun rises watch the catastrophe and the formation of the first man-like predator with a bite like fire and is a cannibal. Man now has darkness and night. Now that was the last part of the Legend of Time, so I want to go through here and I want to show you a few more things. We went over the map of the universe. I showed you where the boat is in the hieroglyphs. Here we was talking about the Egyptian Dendro Zodiac. Now this is the Egyptian Dendro Zodiac is talking. It's a very specific story. Now everyone who was here knows that this is where this right here is where you start reading the Egyptian Dendro Zodiac. That red mark right there, which is around the 45-degree angle from the north, which in the Egyptian Dendro Zodiac, the north is the very center. The outside of the line, the whole outside, the outside rim That's South America. The very center is here in the north, or further up north. That's the North Pole. The big round outside line, that is the south, or that's Argentina area. I mean, actually, it's the South Pole area. When there was land there before the snows moved in and everything. But you start with the piercing. You start with the piercing in any hieroglyph. That's where your start is. This red mark right here in the middle, that's where you start. And if you see right next to it, there's the serpent. There's the great serpent DNA being mixed. The very next one is the animal. And if you go around counterclockwise, you're gonna see the story, the legend of time. You'll be able to read that hieroglyph and just keep going like you're going down a flush, like you're being flushed. You're going right to the center. Also, don't think that people in these places don't know what's going on. You're going to see their handshakes. But if you look right here, you have spider eyes and stars on the top of, this is in the Middle East, at the United Nations. Everybody knows except the people who they don't want to know. Also, this is a picture or an image from the book Egyptian Mythology Encyclopedia, I believe. Is Egyptian mythology for sure. I don't think it was the encyclopedia, but Egyptian mythology. And this is on page 420. 420 does have a lot of meaning to it. But in this picture also is the story, the legend of time. I recommend that we do get a bigger picture of this sometime, but I do want to show you a few other things that go in this picture, because the one in the middle, that would be North America. The two images on this side, this is called, this would be South America. And then this side over here would be China, Japan, and everything. But this is an a Japanese hieroglyph art form, Coptic language. So the middle one that's in the middle is another spider, and you can tell with the fuzzy and the eye in the middle. But also, this is above the head. This image here is above the head. Now, this image right here is also, when I turn it upside down, it makes the letter B. The letter B, if everybody remembers, means baby. It's a symbol for baby, or the number 13. It's a symbol for a baby. So right now, this is on the very top of page 420. But everyone will recognize this image if I turn it upside down. Now, if anybody can tell me what this looks like to you, I'll even go to the comments real fast. Now, I'm just now seeing the comments. I haven't been able to read anything, but can somebody tell me what this looks like? Just off the top of your head, just take a guess. What does that look like? Okay, this image right here is called the Book of Life. It's The book of life is earth, but the book of life is turned upside down. This is the way that we see it. Because we're upside down and backwards. We're supposed to be upwards. Supposed to be facing the sun. This is called the book of life. You'll find this in the Bible. Why is everybody's name in the book of life? Because it's all about earth. It's all about heaven. But this, I wanted to show you this because this is important too. It's called the book of life in the page 420. Now with the DNA mixing, starting to get creatures that are mixing with us, and now you get tall man, you get slender man, you get dog man, you get lizard man, moth man. They're all hybrids of the same first Bigfoot. It just keeps producing a better and better predator. Now, in the ancient writings, on the very last day of judgment, when judgment happens, when that day is here, we have to have at least one person with all the knowledge face to face. We have to have one person face to face with the very best predator that the predators can possibly manage. And that person has to be prepared for that. But there's also two ways of going around this. And warrior always finds that other way. But the other way has to do with death. But once that happens, you have to go to where you're supposed to go. Don't get caught up. Don't ask questions. Don't get questioned. There's a door that opens up for only a split second. But you being energy, you're fast. Remember, we said use your mind to move. Don't think physical in the spiritual world. Don't think physical in the dream world. When that door opens up, you have to go. And when you go right to the pineal gland of earth, reactivate it, energize it, and electrify it. Judgment will happen. Everybody will be taken care of. This whole world will change. There are people who know about this. There are people who don't want you to know about this. Now, whenever we talk about in the story, when I say the word it, does everybody know what it is? It's in pictures, it's in movies, it's in hieroglyphs, it's in on carvings, it's in stories. Does everybody know what it is? Does everybody know what the Deceiver is? The Deceiver is a cosmic spider that came from the depths of the cosmos, a predator, a deceiver that eats people. It eats everything. It will eat anything that has blood. It comes periodically through a portal, and that portal is and happens September 20th through the 23rd. It's called the Fall Equinox. That is a portal. That's when the sun sets right on the horizon line of the fall equinox. And as the sun goes down, it dies. It goes into the underground or to the underworld. And this is also when the sun dies. And then the third day it was came back, and the third day went north to see King Cepheus. Sorry. Now this portal opens up periodically. This portal is also right here on Starman. But this portal, which is even we have portals on us. We are portals also. But periodically, it hasn't happened lately because we've been at these portals. We were just at another portal on September 20th through the 23rd. We went to another portal in Texas, shut that one down. They're very easy to shut down. But this was the time right here. This is September 20th through the 23rd. This is when the sun meets the horizon and then goes into the winter time. uh, this one right here is actually my key. This is a key to the dead. This is my key. This is actually a friend's key. A friend of mine found their own key. We also have to remember, we are at war. We've always been at war since the Deceiver. Don't let anybody think or tell you we're at peace. Though that's to lull you into a false sense of security. We still have our battles. There's still creatures like these around. And that's the one I was tracking. Not one like this, but I was tracking a 5-foot spider I was looking for. But this DNA. Now I'm going to read this last part real fast again for you because I want you to understand this part. Many predator forms are abundant. Everything has been mixed with the predator. Man has also been placed in the mixture to create a crawling man-like being that through time, with the ingestion of more people, become more man-like. People where the sun rises watch the catastrophes and the formation of the first man-like predator with a bite like fire and cannibal. I'm going to go over and read just a couple of comments and see what we got here. Sheila's here. Sheila R. Kathy's here. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Sheila. Sheila says, anyone know what's going on with the chat above? Oh, and Faith Walker says, hey, Sheila, what do you mean? Oh, and Faith Walker says, these, hey, great to see you here, Faith Walker. Hope Katie's around. I didn't see Malcolm tonight either. But I'm glad you're here. Faith Walker also says, these illustrations help a lot, Jerry. Well, thank you, Faith Walker. Thank you. Sheila, she says, looks like he was giving someone what's for, laugh out loud. Seeker says, thanks for the pics, Jerry. Great. And Sheila says, somebody wants to challenge. Yes, actually a person was, I guess I was a little short with a person because they was trying to tell me things that I knew was wrong. So I corrected them and they got offended because I corrected them. That happens to me all the time. Whenever I correct people, they get offended. I'm put on Bigfoot timeouts, or I'm Facebook timeout, or Facebook jail. I've been kicked off everything just for correcting people and telling them. But nobody knows this. So except for the people here and the people who watch this, you will know the truth. But this person also said that they wanted to that my deciphering of the Fibonacci sequence doesn't jive with what they know. So I asked them to, for a challenge, show me what you have about the Fibonacci sequence, and I'll show you what I have. I'll write it down. I'll give you pictures. I'll give you illustrations. I'll tell you where it comes from. But people do seem to only talk a little while, but if we get into like a challenge or let's test each other's knowledge, people always step away. But it's just having people talk like that whenever I know what I'm talking about. I've seen things other people hadn't seen. I've found things other people hadn't found. I've read things other people haven't. And to have somebody who, to say things like they have been, finally I just said, well, do you want to have a challenge? I'll challenge you on any kind of knowledge, any kind of history, anything you want to have a challenge on. I will gladly be there. But that's what that was talking about. And I haven't gotten a reply. I'll check back later. Hopefully, if they do, we can have it on here. We can have them on as a guest, and we can go over Fibonacci, map of the universe, Egyptian Dendro Zodiac, healing charts, energy charts, DNA, whatever challenge they want to challenge. But that's just what that was about. Seeker also says, Legend of Time, all that matters right now. Yes, you're true. And I didn't stop. I went through that so we could get through that. Seeker also says, Jerry, what is that specific map of the universe? I've looked at it many others. That one is excellent, all encompassing. Can you send the link where you have found it? Seeker, if you go to Amazon.com, you will find that map. It's called Map of the Universe. I think it costs $35, which is very cheap. It was expensive for me at that time, but that is very cheap to get that map. I would also recommend that you get the Egyptian Dendro Zodiac and also some copies of the Aztec Sunstone. They're all the same story. So, but they all have different information. Let's see. Faith Walker says, beautiful painting. Oh, thank you, Faith Walker. And Seeker says, yes, yeah, Faith Walker, absolutely incredible paintings. They convey the knowledge. Jerry, it's so helpful. Well, I want to thank y'all because I've never painted before in my entire life. But those paintings just came natural. I didn't and I'm telling the truth, I've never painted more than a stick person, probably. Actually, I think you draw that, but so I've never painted before. These images just came to me. I had to get them down. I've got some other paintings that I'm started on that needs to be out, and when I get a chance, I will do that. But thank y'all for the comments on the paintings. They're very important, and I could not show those paintings a couple of months ago. People didn't understand them. But once we got the story together, the images and pictures, now the paintings make sense to people. Now people understand what I'm talking about. Faith Walker says, Kathy says, oh, wow. Faith Walker says, so talented. Thank you. Seeker says, a spaceship, but I also see an upside down sunset. And Seeker says, well, I got the upside down at least. That's good though, Seeker. Ladybug Sarah. She came in at 8:16 p.m. Well, that's when you first commented. Katie. She come in at 8:17. Michelle, 8:17. Is that when y'all first commented or when y'all first got here? Katie says, darling Liz. She sends you a flower and a smile. Katie says, "Hey, group," with a heart. And of course, there's Ladybug Sarah. Um, Jody says, "Here because of your knowledge, riveting. Thank you for your dedication." Well, thank you, Jody. I do appreciate that. Or actually, it takes me a little while to get everything together, but I know what I need to put together for every night because we're going in a sequence. I want to teach everybody the right way, but um, sometimes it's a little time consuming. But and that's why I appreciate people who are here on time and stay to the very end. I know sometimes we can run to hour and a half, 2 hours. So we used to run into 3 hours, but I changed that up because it was too long. But I do appreciate y'all coming back nightly, and I do have to apologize. Sometimes I can't be here. Like this weekend, we're going out in the field, or we got some friends coming in. We're going to be busy. Next weekend, I'm not so sure. I also do want to talk about before we leave about the cave. So somebody please remind me when we get close to these comments being finished, which is almost there. And that was from Jody. She's here because of the knowledge. Riveting. Thank you for your dedication. You are very welcome, Jody. Katie says, "What paintings?" Katie. If you can, Katie, please watch this stream again. Um, because there's so much information that we put on this one live stream. It's something that people's never heard of, but we actually are able to get photos and paintings. I had to go dig them out and find them and pull them out. I was kind of excited because I had the opportunity that I could get it to the point where people could understand now. Understand the paintings. Before nobody could understand them. Uh, let's see. Seeker says, "Well, the energy came through you, Jerry. Your paintings are incredible." Yeah, I don't know where the paintings, the artisticness, I guess, because like I said, I never painted before, and I actually fell asleep during one painting, which I was doing the lines in. I fell asleep because I was so tired, and I realized that I was still painting while I was sleeping. So the first thing I do is I grab my paintbrush and pull it straight up off the painting because I'm thinking I just smeared, hours of painting, this artwork. But then when I looked at it, I seen that I had went into a lot of detail while I was sleeping, and that also coincides with the body knowing what to do, even if you do go into states like that. Katie says, "I'm sorry, so sick." And Katie, um, I hope you feel better. Let's get you on those minerals. Let's get you on those plant foods. I don't want you sick anymore. This will change your body. Let's get you on the right thing. When those minerals come in, hopefully tomorrow, you said, um, you got your healing booklet. So let's get your foods that are in there. We need you on those foods. We don't want you to be sick anymore. And you're eating the right foods, the right diet. I promise you, you will never be sick again. But don't go around sick people. That's all I'm saying too. So Ladybug says, "I've been here for quite a while." Okay, great, Ladybug. I'm glad. Um, Seeker says, Seeker says, uh, "Thank you, Jerry, so much for sharing your knowledge, and thank you for your patience with questions and everything." That was even great yesterday whenever we had the question and answer, which I talked to a couple of people who found that very enlightening, that it wasn't just a classroom, that we got to actually sit around and talk and answer those questions. Because what I'm doing is I'm starting from the beginning and I'm getting to the Bigfoot like we are today. But it is in a sequence because I want people to learn the correct way, not jump from here to there and through history. I want to start at the beginning, work our way up so that you know everything about the Bigfoot, where it comes from, how it's here, why it's here, and everything. The only way we're going to do that is if we stay together. Uh, and I hope we do. I hope this group stays together because we're going to advance. We were advanced. We're coming back. We're starting over. We got so advanced with a few people here. They were reading hieroglyphs. They knew the symbols. They could read symbols, hieroglyphs. Well, I said that. But I was very proud of everybody for staying with us the time before. But we did get too advanced for a lot of people, so we had to start over. And please keep coming back. This is kind of like your first day. First, if you watch this one, this podcast, or watch it again, it's got a lot of information on it. With just this one podcast, you know the origins. You know it's a predator. You know it's here. It's got a bite like fire. It's got spider DNA. That's the predator DNA mixed with all the other animals. Also, man is in there, but it's not a man. It's not a human. It's only the image. And we'll get into that also a little further down the line whenever we get to plasma scaling. With the questions, everything. You're welcome, Seeker. And Ladybug Sarah says, I'm going to listen to it again. Hadn't heard this part before. Yes, Ladybug Sarah, please watch that again. Watch this podcast again. And you'll understand every picture, every painting, and every photo. Michelle says, I got in like 10 minutes before commenting. I will re-listen in the morning. Okay, Michelle, I'm glad. And Katie says, you're not offensive, Jerry. Well, thank you, Katie. I just get to a point where I have to correct people because they're going in the wrong direction and they've been guided in the wrong way. So I have to just I just need to stop you right there and correct you. Please don't get offended. But a lot of people do because it's not what they know. And the truth, if you haven't heard it, it will conflict inside you, inside your mind, until truth works its way through there. Faith Walker says, inspiration is when the spirit flows through. That's what happened with your painting. I believe you are, well, I know you are correct because I really don't know how I did that. And Katie says, paintings. Yes, Katie, the paintings are in the video. You'll have to go back through and you will see them. Seeker says, random question. Jerry, in your knowledge, have you heard of anything regarding cloak in stars? Seeker, these creatures are called stars. These creatures are stars who are feeding off of energies. They're holding energies down. Energies are people. Once you break that plane, you're fair game. Once you go into the abyss, once you go straight up and into the light, you're fair game. And there are predators waiting for energies, for people to pass to come up. They're waiting for people to show up who don't know how to use their energy body. They don't know how to move. They're just like a floating duck out there. And these creatures come and get them. They take them to the depths of the cosmos, to the very bottom. They feed on them. They're called stars because they shine. Those shining things are energies. For Seeker. Faith Walker says, many of us were here but not wanting to interrupt. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I did see a couple of people pop up and everything, but I was reading the story and everything, and I wasn't reading the comments. Actually, Faith Walker, you're supposed to be doing that. But no, I'm sorry. You don't have to do nothing. I'm sorry. Um, Ladybug Sarah says sleep painting. That's different too. That was actually something. So because I pulled my paintbrush, which was a small paintbrush, up because I knew I just probably just because I was sleeping. And when I looked at it, I was like, wow, there's just so much detail. And I was like, how did I. But then I just stopped questioning, just went ahead with the painting and everything. Katie says, Faith Walker says, Katie, love you. Hope you're feeling better. Katie says, took the minerals tonight. Yay, Katie, you got your minerals. I'm so happy they came today. All right, good job, Katie. Let's keep you on those minerals. Use every one of them 4 times a day for you right now. Four tablets, 4 times a day. You know how to use them. Let's get you started on that. Then we're going to get you your plants and plants, herbs, and edible flowers to get you fully on your recovery. Um, Michelle says, I've had an inspired artwork before. Mosaic. It was definitely inspired. I didn't know you as an artist, Michelle, but I would love to see your work sometimes. And Katie says, okay. And then Katie also says, thank you, Liz. Katie says, where did you go? There you are. Never mind. Kathy says, very gracious of you. Uh, thank you. I think you're talking to me. And Katie says, Jerry, can you turn off the Spider-Man picture? We can't see you. Oh, okay. I thought y'all might want to look at the spider or the Bigfoot because it is a Bigfoot channel. So, but those are the oranges of that. Let me get back to um. Kathy says that one is scary though. Yes, um, we don't have to be afraid of them, but we have to prepare for them. Katie says some people just need to be corrected. They're going to be send a new matter on what to do. And then there's others like me. They won't be offended, but just want to do what they're told. Katie says, that was supposed to say they're going to be offended. Oh. And Katie says that she will watch tomorrow. I'm glad, Katie, I want you to watch this over again. I also want you to watch that healing segment we did a couple nights again while you're looking at your healing booklet. Seeker says, Roger that. Thanks. Hey, all right. I like that talk. Katie says, yes, sir, sir. Yes, Corporal. And Seeker says, reminder of the cave. Yeah, there you are. Okay. Thank you, Seeker, because I was just about to close and I forgot about the cave. Now, the cave, I got a report today from a friend, a fellow guy who's been wanting to come up and track with us. He's got Bigfoot in his area. He actually lives in a place called Monster Central. There's been some big TV groups go through there, and they've all been scared. Some has even peed their pants and left. So he does know what he's talking about. He does have artwork and things from older people who left as a boundary marker. He does have things like that. He did send me information today about a cave that was found that also has the human and animal bones and remains in that cave. But he also did say that they found Bigfoot bones. So that's what I'm very curious about. And Katie, I know you asked about that. And Faith Walker, Malcolm and Damon, and Josh, we all need to also talk about that if we're available to go in that area. I was also told that the cave is now underwater because these rains that we've been having. But there's always, if you've got one hole in a cave, you're going to have another. There's always another way in. There's always multiple ways in. But we also have to be very careful because the DNA of a Bigfoot does have the spider DNA, so it can hang upside down above you. It can hang on the wall. It can be it could be up on a wall while you're walking by it. You know, it could be hanging right above you while you're walking. These creatures can do this. That's why most of the time when you're in caves, you don't see them. And the ones that you do see, always remember that's a decoy. If you see that one, look up, look behind you. That's where the other one is. But we are waiting for that information. My friend has already gathered information about this cave and the location, but he wants to have more of a report before he sends that information to me. And if it is done by tomorrow, we will have a little special time for him to come in, be a guest, and explain the ins and outs, what they found, what the reports were. Um, I don't think he's going to get the location because if we do have that opportunity, that we don't need anyone knowing where we're going, when we're going to go do it. And that's the same thing with our team in the field. You might not hear from us for 3 or 4 days, but we're off. You know, we're not trying to out. We're even when you communicate, when you come online, when you talk, turn your phone on. Those things can be tracked, and we don't want to be tracked. We're the trackers. Um, but yes, that was in Louisiana. For all those who want to know, and thank you for the reminder of the Cope Cave. Sorry. And Katie says, "Yeah, there you are. Okay, I'm on." Michelle says, "Do you think the armored men of the past with spears and swords were fighting monsters?" Yes, Michelle. Yes, everyone in the world has been fighting these creatures. Everybody, they're everywhere. Um, the Arctic, north, you know, far as you can go, China. There's a place called um, Stairway to Heaven. Right past that fogginess is a portal. Past that portal, you're going to find the cabin in the woods. If you go in there, I recommend that you do not go in there because it's a trap. It's nothing but spiders and predators that live in there. They're going to let you get to the cabin. You're going to think it's a safe place, but that's when they all start moving in and surround you. Just like what's happening now with the Indians in Oklahoma. They're all in the middle. This is part of what is called the end game. But we know. Um, let's see. Yes, Michelle, they all were fighting monsters. We all were. We still are, and we will be until the end, because they do have uniformity and cohesion with us, with our blood through plasma scaling, and we will get to that also. Um, if nobody understands that part, we will get to that. Once we get a little further, you're going to understand everything. Every word that I say, you're going to understand. You're even going to speak different. Your terminology is going to be different. Ladybug Sarah says there must be really tall ones there. Oh yeah, well, I'm sure Ladybug, you probably have taller ones than we do. I mean, you got some 20 footers, if not bigger. And when people report 15, 20 footers, that's not the biggest one. That's just what was reported. Katie says, pee their pants. I can do that. All right, Katie. And Katie says Louisiana, right? And Ladybug says what state, which it is in Louisiana. And thank you for answering that, Katie. I appreciate that. And Katie says, do you have a time yet that you can go? And Katie says, scary stuff. Um, Me, I'm pretty open. Right now, I'm pretty open. Malcolm, Malcolm and Damon may need some scheduling, and Faith Walker would probably have to have some scheduling too. So we would all have to work that out together because I really want experience if we go and do this. Um, because you always want to have an experienced team. I do, and we have some of the best people working with us. I mean, it's a joy just to work with everyone, especially you, Katie, too, uh, because we have a great time. When we're in the field, we're in the field. But once we hit that base camp, oh, you're in Missouri. I'm sorry, Ladybug Sarah. I thought you was up in the BC area. Maybe that's SMA. And maybe Katie or Kathy, too. I think Kathy's up that way. Seeker says, nice time with y'all. Not everyone. Have a great trip. And Ladybug says she's from Missouri. So we got through the comments. I had a great time again. If you haven't seen this live stream fully, I didn't try to make it too long. It's only an hour and 45 minutes. Please watch it again. Share with your friends. Share with the other Bigfoot groups. Even if they don't like me. Even if they say, don't listen to me. Show them this live stream. Just let them watch it. Let them make their own mind up. We do have more information, more knowledge than any other group. We're sharing it. We're going to share some more. This is just the beginning. So we will do a question and answer every week. So more people can ask the questions that they need to know. But I do want to thank everybody for tonight. I had a great time. It's always great seeing everyone here. Michelle, Katie, Ladybug, Faith Walker. Some of the guys aren't here tonight. Kathy's up here. So I want to wish everybody a good night. I want everybody to have a restful sleep. Get up bright and early. Do what you got to do. Get where you got to get. I will see y'all tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Time Zone. Let me say maybe on tomorrow night. I'm not really sure because we are supposed to go with some friends, and we got some other friends coming in. So I'm not totally sure if I'm going to be back tomorrow night, but if I am, it will be 7 p.m. Central Time Zone. But if not, when we get back from where we got to go and what we got to do, I will have updates and pictures for you. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate this. Please come back. Ladybug said, can you please give us a heads up when you're not to be online? And Kathy says, thank you. Okay, what I will do is I will go ahead and put a posting of what, like this. You'll get a posting of it. But on that posting, I'll put in the comments, will not be able to make it tonight or in the field or something like that. That way, if I'm not here, I don't want people waiting around or expecting me to come after that 10-minute timeline. And like Seeker says, if he's not online in 10 minutes, it means that he is not coming. That is true, and I expressed that a couple of times because if I'm real close to getting here, in danger or wreck a vehicle or something trying to get here to do this, but I will post that in the comment section if I'm not going to make it. That way people don't have to wait around or anything for that 10-minute deadline. And thank you for suggesting that, Ladybug. I do appreciate that, and that will help a lot of people. So everybody have a great night. I will see y'all tomorrow night, 7:30 or 7 p.m. Central Time Zone. If not, I will leave a message for everybody. But if I am not, I will have some very interesting photos and things like that whenever I return. So everybody have a great night. I'll see y'all tomorrow.